right, first and foremost, it is always good to be where the love is, and I'm feeling it. So thank you, everybody. And so when I was a student here, NSBE was always such a small cohort that everybody inevitably had to step up into a leadership position, right? And so for me, it was in those moments that taught me the significance of true human-centered leadership. Understanding the value of cultivating solid relationships with the folks that you're supposed to guide and support. And right now, that's my specialty as a professional. Weaving in the human elements of engineering into all that I do, both personally, professionally, and communally. That's really the part that really, gets me going. Because the reality is that leaders are born out of a need for timely guidance, where good leadership is cultivated in seasons of great introspection, and great leadership emerges in times of crisis. And I've come to know that to be true. And quite honestly, this is all of your reminder that you're not only tomorrow's leaders, you are today's leaders and today's influencers and champions, hopefully, for great change. But that's if you so choose to do so. So be the change. I invite you to be the change, because you must demand the change, really. Change doesn't come by accident. Change comes through intention and willfulness. Because quite honestly, the price may be the price, but the cost is oftentimes much heavier than that. I was checking the numbers recently, and according to the National Science Foundation's 2019 statistics on engineering occupation demographics, Black or African American identifying folks still only represent about 4% of our industry. And that number pretty much has stagnated between 3 and 5% even while I was here. I think that's a very real statistic that we need to stay mindful of as we are producing excellent technical folks out here. 4%. Our Latinx brothers and sisters are 8%. Our Native American and Alaskan Natives are about 0.3%. And so I must reiterate, Black and African American representation, 4%. Stagnated. This is a very real statistic we ought to stay mindful of. And they will stay like that if we do not change, because we keep asking for the systems to change. We keep asking for the systems to change, and yet we are the system. The system does not change unless we change. And as I said, that change must be intentional, because these bastions of academic excellence will be their own undoing if they do not change and adapt to progress. Real talk. As several people have mentioned thus far, the mission of NSBE, the National Society of Black Engineers, is to what?
Increase the number of culturally sensible Black engineers who excel academically, succeed professionally, and positively impact the community.
Family, yes, since 1975. 75, not 74. And so then my question to you all, right, is are you still living the mission? Wherever you are, wherever you find yourself as a professional or as a student, as an academic, are you still living the mission? And what these 30 years have taught us, I hope, is that we do need to continue living the mission. Because it's important to acknowledge, yes, where we've done well and where we've grown, but also be cognizant of the areas where we still need to grow. There's still a big opportunity gap that needs to be filled. And we must be intentional if that end goal is going to be met, right? We must be smart about implementing these necessary changes to get us to our target goals and milestones in alignment with what? The 4 C's of 21st century skills, right? Communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and what? Creativity. Creativity is essential to innovation. In and out of the classroom and boardroom. Right? Yes, that was a smart goals pun. right? It is important that we create goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, all right? And more importantly, again, I'll keep saying this, we cannot and do not get there without the necessary support. And speaking of support, we must reevaluate what support currently looks and feels like versus what it should look and feel and be like, especially for your most marginalized demographics in these areas, in this environment, in this institution. Because sometimes what the institution believes to be support is very incongruent with what real support for your current students, especially those who are most struggling, really need out of you and out of us. I'm including myself in that, right? We have to be talking apples to apples when we're talking about supporting our students so that we are building people who are well adjusted to come into industry so we can see the changes that are needed. I really hope we all get it.